Welcome to Dorset and the windswept landscape of Cranbourne Chase, an area that archaeologists have been drooling over for years because it's jam-packed full of archaeology. Take this field, for instance. Recently, 2 different sets of burials have been discovered here, and the local farmer wants to know whether they could have anything to do with something that he's discovered just close to his house. Strictly speaking, it was some pigs who made the discovery. They were rootling around in this area over here when they unearthed a mosaic floor and lots of bits of wall and Roman tile like this. Apparently, they're part of a large Roman building, but it's the wrong shape for a villa. So what on earth could it be? And are the burials up there the people who lived here? The farmer is desperate to find out, and I've promised him personally that over the next 3 days, Time Team won't let him down. Geophys has been tried here before, but conditions at the time resulted in these fairly fuzzy results. A few trenches have also been dug by the local archaeology group.
And they've got mosaic floors here. You can see all that laid out there.
But does the Roman building have anything to do with the burials up on the ridge?
Come and have a look at it. Some of this stuff is absolutely pristine archaeology. You see there's a ditch running through there. You can see there's the natural chalk there, the white stuff there, and then this is the actual edge of the ditch running along there.
Yeah.
Now here we think we might actually have a grave.
It's a Roman flanged dish.
Flanged meaning just that bit sticks out?
Sticky out bit, exactly.
Any idea what it would have been used for?
Well, we think these are just like salad bowls, tableware, that kind of thing.
Do you get grave goods in a Roman grave?
You do. Often not very many, but I mean, we could find nothing at all. So just to find this is quite something.
Do you want to come and have a look in here?
You're joking.
No. Dinky little, dimpled...
Oh, yeah, little neat alleyway.
Result!
Well.
And it's complete as well. It's sweet.
Explain what it is. A funny little
vessel,
dinky dimpled vessel. Right.
It's a late Roman beaker. I've seen this kind of thing before. They're from 3rd or 4th century, and they're little miniature drinking cups.
Now, presumably, we wouldn't say that this accidentally fell in there.
No, this is not residual. This is going to have been made not long before the moment of burial, most likely. So here we have a grave with something that dates it.
What a result! Technically speaking, this dinky dimpled thing is a new forest ware beaker, and it means this burial's Roman, dating to the late 3rd to 4th century AD. Over near the farmhouse, we know we're excavating a Roman building. We're just not sure what it is exactly, or if it existed at the time of our 4th century burials. Although it's early days in terms of digging, Guy has been looking for clues to the date of the building by examining the farmer's collection of finds.
Simon, I've been looking at all these finds that you've got. Now, did they all come from around the villa or a bit further afield?
They come from all through the bottom of the field there.
Right, so all over?
Yeah, all over.
So you reckon our Roman building was in use perhaps for 75 years and went out of use pretty promptly round about the year 350 AD?
Well, that's about it, and I can say that because this coin is actually of a rebel emperor, and all his money was demonetised after he was put down, so this coinage didn't really circulate after that date. Normally, the villas trail off during the second half of the 4th century, and I would still have expected some coins in the 370s, maybe just up into the 380s, but there's none of that at all.
So the finds suggest that this building, if it was a villa, was abandoned unusually early, around 350 AD. But significantly, it also means that the building was standing at the time of our burials, and they could be connected. There were lots of villas springing up in the more prosperous 3rd and 4th centuries, and it would make perfect sense to find one just here on Cranbourne Chase. Our building is at the head of 2 streams, giving it a good water supply, and it's close to main Roman roads for easy transport. This is really good arable land, an attractive place to live and farm for thousands of years. It looks like Carenza's found the remains of a Roman plunge pool.
Corner of wall in this end of the trench, which hadn't showed up at all on the geophysics. They're starting to go down here, so we extended the trench back, and you can see what we've got here is a feature that's going right into the ground. There's the plaster, the pink painted plaster, still in situ on the edge of the wall there, and I think that might be the bench they sit on.
Well, there's obviously quite a lot of work to do there, isn't there, to sort that out?
Well,
It means the building we're digging is a bathhouse, one of the necessary luxuries of a posh Roman villa. Up on the ridge, we've left literally a skeleton crew here to finish off. The farmer had been wondering if these burials were connected with his Roman building, and so far we've established that, broadly speaking, they're of the same date, late 3rd to 4th century AD. Today, after 2 days' careful excavation, we're learning details of the individual burials.
It's actually an elderly female that we've been able to age and sex her now.
Yeah.
And
this elderly woman wasn't buried alone. These are the remains of a small terrier puppy that was put in the coffin beside her.
I mean, there are all sorts of interesting implications to that, aren't there? Whether, you know, they killed the dog and put it in the burial, or, you know, whether the dog died the same time. There's all sorts of things could be going on.
I suspect what's happened, it was actually killed to go in with her.
Right.
Now, although that might sound quite horrible to us, if you have a firm belief in an afterlife,
take the
then
dog
it's
with
not
you.
that bad. You know, you just got a new puppy.
Take it with you.
You
sort
want
of
your
thing.
puppy to come with you.
We've established that these burials don't extend beyond this area. We're only investigating 3 of them, but we estimate that there may have been as many as 20 graves here. However, the big news for me today is that apparently our experts don't think these are the people who lived in the villa. So they think the burials could be the people who lived and worked here on the villa estate. What can you tell us about this one?
Well, apart from the fact the poor thing's had his head squashed, we've got a young teenager, about 13 to 15 years old. At the moment, whether we'll be able to sex it ultimately or not, I don't know. It depends how much we can see. But generally at this age, it's difficult to sex, so we're not really sure.
Matt, what's happening around the feet?
Well, we've got more and more of these hobnails turning up. This morning we had a row going across here, and now we've got ones coming across here as well, so definitely he was wearing a pair of shoes.
In the bathhouse trench, we've got a bit of detective work going on.
But when you've got you've got the blue, the white and the red, and you've got quite a complex decoration, that's a completely different piece of work from this.
Oh, look at that. We're going into a window embrasure.
Oh, you put an angle on it.
Apparently, none of them has ever seen anything quite like this before.
Take a look at this mark Carenza spotted last night. It's an eye, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
You definitely think that is. I mean, I saw it in the trench last night.
That is not accidental, is it?
It's a very classical type of eye, and it's the same technique used on a statue where you impress to make the pupil.
It's been a hectic 3 days, but essentially what we've found is new detail to add to the story of continual occupation of this ridge over thousands of years. In just these 3 trenches, we discovered evidence of a Bronze Age roundhouse, an Iron Age field ditch, and an early Roman farm building. All of which had long gone out of use when this area was used as a cemetery in late Roman times by people living close by, and probably farming land that belonged to the villa down the hill. Bridge, this is the part of the trench we called the Dog's Dinner. Is it still a Dog's Dinner?
It's absolutely not. There's just the most fantastic archaeology coming up. What we've got here is actually the beginning of our Roman story. This is the early plunge pool. It's got painted, plastered walls, and we've got a seat here where people would have sat.
If it's a plunge pool, why has it got all this brick stuff in it?
Because the family's up and coming. They've decided to invest some money and improve their house. They've filled in the plunge pool and they've laid over it a centrally heated floor. You've got one of the heated channels there.
Just here?
That's right. And over this was the mosaic floor that we found all the parts from. You can even see the bedding here. This family was upwardly mobile.
And that's not all they do at this point. At the same time as they lay the mosaic and fill in that plunge bath, they built a whole new bath range.
Where's the bath range?
Well, we were right to extend the trench this way because we've got another 2 rooms exposed. This rubble here is clearly infill, so these are quite deep chambers. These are heated rooms. We've probably got the hot room and the warm room that will go with the cold plunge bath, so you've got the sort of triple arrangement of a standard Roman bathhouse.
So, you walked on heated floors into the tepidarium with its warm bath. Next, into the calidarium, the hot room full of steam. And then finally, into the frigidarium, the cold room, to take a dip here in our cold plunge pool. As for the rest of the villa, well, the fact that these trenches turned up nothing makes us think that the Roman building remains are fairly concentrated in this area. Stuart has spotted that there are earthworks in the field opposite, and it's possible that the major part of the villa is across the road. As ever, Victor's been quick to interpret this idea, and his sketch shows the bathhouse on the end of a typical 4th century villa, as it often was because of the fire risk. As for the people who lived here, where were they buried? Well, I'm told somewhere up on the higher ground, possibly in a mausoleum. But that's for another day.